Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Brownlee of Body of Christ Real Talk. Welcome to the show. God bless you all. I really thank the ones that's been tuning in and listening to my show. The few or the many that's been tuning into my show. I do really thank you and I praise God. Thank you very much. Wow, traveling. I want to get right into this. If you listen to my last podcast, I'd like you to just catch on or piggyback with me of what I'm going to be doing for the next maybe couple of days. It's not an urgent talk. It's more of a reaction. These are reactional podcasts I'm going to be doing in the next few days. And the last several podcasts I have been doing, not besides the health and stuff like that, that I really kind of eased off of, and I'll get back into the health journey that I am in. But I'm going to talk about different things. And I want to talk about some traveling as an American, international traveling. And what I want to focus on, if you haven't listened to my last podcast, please go back there. I recommend you so you can know where I'm going, so you can know where I'm piggybacking on. And what I'm talking about, what I'm going to start off with before I get to my own personal reasons why I want to travel, which I have not done a lot of, but I will be doing it, Lord's willing. My whys, but I want to know your whys. Or I'm going to talk about certain whys, why certain people do it. Now, the why I'm going to talk about today, like I promised, I'm talking to the people that's here in America. Doesn't matter where you live at. It doesn't matter what ethnicity that you are. It doesn't matter. You can have ancestors from another country. In other words, but you was born and raised here in America. You might not even talk your country's language or the country you believe that you belong to. You might not even talk their language or even dialogue. You might only know English, or you just might have both languages of certain countries that you descended or your ancestors, I may say, descended from. You live here in America. You have Americans here that was just born here in America. Everybody mostly have something mixed in them. Does not mean you're from that country. But my point is, you have people that was born here in America just can literally call themselves American. Then you have people that was born here in America, but their roots are based on another country, or that you may call them the immigrants that came from other countries and stuff like that. Whatever country it is, I don't have time to get into all the countries because of time constraints. You have certain roots or even DNA, in you that shows that you have that blood of another country. You understand what I'm saying? But you wasn't born in that country. You was born in America, so you considered an American. Who I want to talk about is not a lot of people disagree with that. That's okay. This podcast is not about that. But since I'm talking about traveling, I want to start off talking to the ones that has a certain country they only choose to go to, or what they want to visit more than other countries. Now, let me start off to the ones that want to go to a certain country for a certain reason. Their first reason is to get out of America. Nothing wrong with that, because, I'll get into that later, and leave America, especially the way America's government is doing to their own people now. No matter what ethnicity that you are, it's going to affect everybody, white, black, Latino, whatever. And so this is not about certain color people, all right? This message is global. It's for all ethnicities. What I am saying here is I want to pinpoint the people that want to go to a certain country or continent because they believe they belong there, and that's where they're from. And it has nothing to do with so much their roots and they found DNA. It just means they believe they need to go back. And they want to live, they feel, with their own kind. Not because of racist or prejudice reasons. Some do and most don't. But they feel they need to go back to that country even though they was born here and raised in America. You understand what I'm saying? I want to talk to those people. You have a group of people. Now, this is not a put down or lift up. This is just, I'm naming different groups of people why they pick a certain country that they want to go to. Then I'm get to the ones that pick certain countries they want to go to. Has nothing to do that they came from there. Has nothing to do, even though they came from there. Even though they came from there, they don't want to go there and live there. They are not feeling. They don't feel that they will be satisfied if they live there. So the ones I'm talking about to today are the ones that want to travel a certain country or a continent because they feel that that's where they're from and they belong there and they will feel more satisfied there because that's their real group of people. You understand what I'm saying? Those are the ones I want to talk about. And it's pros and cons in both of those. And what I want to talk about now, if you go into a country, this is my opinion, and I listen to YouTube, I just look at different things and I learn different things and I come to my conclusion, and I hear the pros and the cons of people that go to these countries for that reason, because there's always going to be pros and cons. And I want to talk about the cons before I get to the pros of people. It would take hours at a time if I get to both of the pros and the cons. So let's talk about the cons. It's not a bad con, but one I see as I do my research and I listen to YouTube and different researches of people, different opinions of how they felt when they went back to countries because of they believe they belong there. Whether it's a country or a continent. When I mention continent, I'm talking about Africa. Africa is more like a continent. So that's what I'm a continent on there. But different countries or nationalities or continents, people want to go there because they believe that's where they belong. That's their roots. And they believe they are that people. Just say, for instance, you go back to Germany. You have German descendants. Your ancestors are descendants, and you have German blood in you, and you might even speak German, but you wasn't born there. You wasn't born in that German country or continent. You wasn't born there, but you feel you have that urge to go back there, and you want to live there because you believe that's where you're from, and you need to be there around your own. The same as Africa. Some people just Black American here, or they call themselves African Americans for a reason, and they feel they need to go back to Africa. Whatever what part of it, Johannesburg, it could be Haiti, it could be Ghana, it could be Uganda, it could be Nigeria, it could be any part of Africa. You feel you need to go back to Africa in general because you believe you belong there. Then you have the ones that want to go back to this country, and the one that want to go back to South America. They want to go back to Colombia. They want to go back to Honduras. They want to go back to Mexico. They want to go back to different countries. You know what I'm saying? They want to go back to Ireland because they feel, even though they wasn't born there and they don't even know how to speak the language, they don't even know the culture too much, but they think they belong there because of ethnicities or cultural DNA reasons and stuff like that. They just tired of America. They want to get around their own. That's who I'm talking to right now. Now, the pros in that it's not a bad thing to do that at all. There's not a bad thing if you want to go there and learn your culture and learn where your ancestors came from because you wasn't born there. I don't care how you try to sugar. You didn't come from there. You was born in America. You know, you don't accept that. Okay, I'm cool with that. But you want to go back and you want to find out that things what's going on there and everything in your culture. That is a good thing. I had nothing against finding out your ethnicity and your culture, or some people might call race. I just like to use ethnicities or culture. There's nothing wrong with that. The only advice I would give for my little research and what I'm finding out is you please research how they think, research how they live, research their government, different things like that. Not so much how they live, but how do they think? Because even though you might think you from there or you belong there, does not mean that you think alike. I don't care if you got the same color. I don't care how they treated you the first time. And especially a person that went there for the first time, they just fell in love with their country, say, yeah, this is where I belong. I believe you have to at least stay in a country over 3 to 6 months. I believe, this is my opinion, to know if you should live there. I'm talking about the ones that's talking about moving and living in another country. because they think they belong there, and that's part of their roots of ethnicity. You are the one to talk. I'm going to get into the other ones later, but that's what I'm talking about. So your why is a sense of belonging. Your why is because you believe you belong there because that's where you come from. That's where your ancestors are from. So you think you belong there, and you think you will have a God given fulfillment, if I could put it that way, because I'm talking to believers, Christians, and non believers that think that way. Now, what I'm finding is a problem with that sometimes is when you think like that, sometimes it can bring kind of a prejudice or racist mentality towards other people. You have that group out there and they kind of down other races or they kind of down other cultures or ethnicities, you know, especially if you feel whatever country you come from, you feel that you have been enslaved or your ancestors have been enslaved for years. This can be black, which is mainly known in America. This can be uh, 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 Irish, Ireland, they have slavery there. This can be India, they have slavery there. There could be a lot of South Americans, they have slavery as well. So I'm talking to all those cultures that feel that they need to be around their own because they still feel that they have a mentality of a slavery or a victimhood mentality. That's why they want to go back to their own countries. Now, the cons, when I want to talk about now, it's not why you want to go back. The cons of visit. My thing is, if you talk about living there, my advice is just to visit or stay for a while and check it out. Because what you were going to find out a lot of times is those cultures is not too crazy about Americans. Not Americans per se. Personally, it's just our type of culture and westernized lifestyle. We have a certain mind mentality and lifestyle that's different than a lot of countries that we think we need to go back and live there. And this is what I'm learning from a lot of people's reviews and comments that live in these different countries. Most of it, a lot of countries are very welcoming. They are very accepting. But what they don't like when you bring your type of westernized American attitude and try to change their ways of culture. Some people don't mind, but most people do not. You have to research because just say for instance we have the same skin color or I'm from there does not mean that they consider me black, and I'm talking about Africa, whatever part of Africa. If you are Latino, don't mean you going back to Colombia or in Honduras and you here in America doesn't mean they're going to accept you with open arms, even in Mexico. you know, it's because their cultures, even though might be from the same cloth, our cultures of where we was born and raised from are different. We think different. We speak different. I might not, or they might not, or you might not speak none of their language. And they might not speak none of yours. And their language and their wording means something different than American language. So you got to put all that into consideration, even your faith. They might be a Christian, you might be a Christian, but they might have a different denomination or a different type of belief. Just say, for instance, you go to a country and they say a Christian, but they might mix the word Christian up with witchcraft because they don't know the difference. They might have a lot of things going on in healings, and they think it's the spirit of God or whatever like that, but it could be witchcraft or hoodoo or whatever. You have to research these things because every Christian is not the same Christian in different countries. So if you were looking at it in a Christian or believer perspective, but if you just go in there and you're searching, you are open to all kind of beliefs as well. See? You are open to all kind of beliefs because what they teach you and tell you, you take it as truth because you think you belong there. So you might say, okay, that's the truth to you. It might not be the truth to someone else, but that may be the truth to you because you so gung ho of believing that you belong there. So you believe a lot of their beliefs, and they might say it's Christian. They might say it's this. They might say it's Muslim, whatever. My point is, do your research. That's the cons of it. Research it and everything. Living, costs, jobs, all that. That's all that I'm saying. That's the cons when you go, your mind is focused on you think you need to live there compared to just want to visit and find out things. Because if you choose just to live there, a lot of times you may be very disappointed and wind up want to coattail right back to America or somewhere else. but back to America. I'm going to get into a little bit more of that in the next episode. Then I'm going to get into the other side of people that want to, including my reason why I want to travel and see other countries. Okay? God bless you all. Peace out. Real talk, travel talk. Joseph Brownlee. Love you all. Bye bye.